Hey, it's Ed. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about Korg Gadget 3. It recently received an update to AUV3 in 2024, and there's a few things that I like about it that I'd like to point out that I don't think have been covered very thoroughly in other videos that I've seen. So I'd like to point them out. So let's jump in. So on the screen here you can see Korg Gadget in its default, which when you're adding an instrument, brings up this list here. Now, a lot of the complaints that I've heard people talk about with Korg Gadget is that it's hard to find the instruments. For example, you've got a bunch of instrument names by city. So, for example, if you go over here to AUM, for example, and I go in here, I've got Korg Lisbon loaded in this project. But if I go in here and I go to replace and I browse and I look here for a Korg instrument to add, you can see it's all city names, and unless you know those city names, it's going to be very difficult to know what those are. Are they a synth, or is it a drum? Is it a bass instrument, right? You have to know exactly what those are. Now if you do, that's great, but if you don't, then what are you supposed to do? Well, there's a couple answers to that. First one I'm going to show you is within Korg Gadget itself. So inside of Korg Gadget, you've got two views here. And the way I got here, I'll just take a step back, is I went in, I created a brand new project. I clicked on the plus right here in the instrument slot. That brings up you can either go to list or search. I'm going to focus on search because I think that's quite useful. And if you look along the top here, you'll see it's broken into various categories. You've got categories of instrument type, drum, perc, bass, synthesizers, synth pad, and so on, along with particular, types of sounds. And that's quite common for a lot of synths to have that. But this is actually across the whole gadget collection, which there's 20 gadgets that you get with the initial purchase, and then you can add on additional ones through IAPs, and then there's some gadgetized versions of full instruments. So it's actually quite a large, I think it's about 45 total gadgets that you can get. And so it's quite a large collection. And within each of those, there are presets. So this is sort of like a preset of preset lists. It's pretty neat. So let's scroll over to the right a little bit. Now you'll see that, there's all these sort of generic instruments listed by category and categories underneath these. But if we keep going, it actually lists out each individual gadget. And this is where I think it gets very interesting. For example, Berlin, right? And this also includes gadgets. This shows all the gadgets, including ones that you may not have. So what's really nice about this, I think, is that you can preview not just the gadget itself, but it looks like every single sample preset within the gadgets, as far as I can tell. And somebody'd have to correct me on that. But for example, if I've got Berlin loaded, you can see here, I've got this sample, I've got this sample here, and I can scroll down, and there's quite a few choices right here, and it gives you the type of sound it is, as well as the name of the sample or preset that's included. If I go over here to Kiev, you can see there's a number of other choices, quite a few. Now some of these have a large number and some have a fewer, but it will still show you samples for instruments that you don't have. For example, Otori, I don't have that, but yet you can see it's going to show the presets and samples for this as well, and you can play them and preview them. So I can click this, and if I've got the gadget collection, just the original one that came with the purchase, even if I don't have that instrument, I can preview the sounds now by just clicking on these. So I think that comes in quite useful. The second thing I've got is a spreadsheet, which I've created. Now let me just take you to the Korg Gadget 3 specifications page here. You can see it here. It lists out all the details on the gadgets. There's 45 gadgets, and this is like for the Mac version and so forth. But if you scroll down to the bottom, it gives you specs for various versions for Mac, for iOS, And here's the iOS version that we're looking at right now. So it's total 45 gadgets, 20 included free. That includes one gadget, which is basically a MIDI control, 12 additional for in-app purchase. And then there's these other gadgets that can be added that are sort of gadgetized versions of full-fledged apps. And so I think it's quite a nice collection. Now, I've created a spreadsheet and I put it in Google Drive. I'm going to link to it in the description. And if you look in here, you'll see like I've actually taken some of that information from the Korg Gadget specifications and pasted it in this spreadsheet. It's the last tab. Above that, I have a listing of all the in-app purchases that are available for the app and the current prices in US. There's two items that appear to be missing from the list. The Sydney and Santa Ana don't seem to appear, but they are available as IAPs. And the next item I have, I think, also comes in handy. So it gives you a one-shot overview of all the gadgets that are included and not included and add-ons. And I've got a column here for the type, the actual module name, the description, the category according to Korg, according to how they just feel that it should be categorized. And then over here, we've got a column that indicates if it's AUV3, whether it's included in the initial purchase. Here are the ones that are add-on in-app purchases. These are separate apps. I've got some notes. Finally, I've got some pictures that I've taken basically from the website. I took the name, description, category, and pictures of each of these and put them in a little list here. So you can actually just scroll down this list if you want to see what each instrument kind of looks like, and then read the description that Korg provides on their website. So I think that it's going to be helpful for some people, certainly is for me, and you should check it out. So the last thing I'd like to say is, again, trying to work with these instruments, right? Here's another convenient thing. If I go back to that project that I had open, that AUM project, and I want to replace this instrument, right? If I go here and I select replace, and I select audio units, I want to replace this Lisbon instrument, right? So let me walk through this. So I'm going to go back to Korg Gadget. Now I'm looking for maybe a synth sound, something fast sounding, right? Now I've got all these choices I can choose from here. And it shows me all the different instruments that are available and the actual name of the preset. So like Chiang Mai, Init, Analog Poly, Subtle Sob, Bug Snatch, right? All these. And now what's nice here actually is if you're in Korg Gadget, and let's say here's this DW brass sound. Say this is the one I like, right? And say you're in Gadget. If you're actually using this within the Gadget app, you just click here, this DW brass. It's going to load up the module, and it's actually going to bring up that preset for you right here automatically. You don't even have to go in and select the preset. It's going to take you to the instrument and to the preset. Now, if I go back to AUM, however, I will have to do a little more, but I at least know what I'm looking for now, which is Phoenix. Now I can open that up, and I can pop in here, and I can change to number 4, DW Brass. Now I can play my little project. And there you go. Got the sound I want. Now I can easily swap that out, right? I can say, well, maybe that's not the sound I'm looking for. Maybe I'm looking for a stab saw. Right? Or I can go back to the Korg Gadget app again, go back here, go back to the plus, and I can find a different sound. And this also includes loops. You get little previews of things that have loops, which I think is cool as well. So like here, for example, the Stockholm. So as you can see, The interface is very, very nice for finding sounds, for finding instruments. So the fact that those instruments are just city names, is a bit of a limitation, but I think it's easily overcome by this ability to go into the app to find things by sound, find the preset that you want, and even preview it, even for stuff that you don't have. I think it's great. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So that's about it for today. Thanks for watching.